and welcome to Updog Sports Talk. We are a show that loves to talk about everyone in college football, NFL, and everything else. We are continuing our conference preview series. This is, I believe, the fifth conference we are talking about now. This time we're doing the ACC, and we are joined by our guests from Gridiron Uncensored. Brendan and Trevor joined the show today. Guys, introduce yourselves.
You want to go?
Go ahead, Brendan.
Go ahead, Brendan. Being some spotty stuff right now.
Okay. So my name's Trevor. I'm one of the hosts of Gridiron Uncensored. We've been doing it for, this is our third season now. I can't believe it. It's been kind of a crazy ride. But yeah, we got into it. We love college football. We love all sports, really, honestly. But college football speaks to us, and we just enjoy doing it. Yeah. That's pretty much it.
Brendan, me and Trev, we've been running it. Blake has been with us, but he's kind of stepped off for the moment. So Trev and I have just been running the show and, knocking out these previews, and it's been a grind. But yeah, this is the end of, I guess this is our second anniversary, per Twitter, so I appreciate them reminding because it all blends together. But no, it's been good, and getting to meet you guys and all the other, college football podcasts and, content creators and stuff that we've met along the way. It's been really cool, man. I've enjoyed the experience.
Yeah, it's definitely been a fun ride. And I think that's been one of my favorite parts about the series is getting to go through every single conference, but also, go and show everyone that may not know about our community of podcasts, like what everyone's skill sets and what everyone has to offer, for sure.
Yeah, it's been really cool, man.
It's been pretty fun, all the different personalities. I mean, speaking more recently, we were able to link up with a couple of people that have been in the college football industry for umpteen amount of years, covering college football. And then we had the pleasure of being joined by one of the senior writers at On3 and Rivals. So, I mean, it's been pretty fun on how we've been growing, and everything's been growing. And it just shows that if you guys do a lot of hard work, it'll show out eventually.
Yeah, 100%. So the ACC is a conference that has been very entertaining, very competitive throughout the years, but it faces a very critical 2025 season, I would say. They need to win some games, plain and simple. The bowl performance this past year was not good for the conference, and I think it's critical for the future to have a good year. So we'll go ahead and with that lead and kind of jump in here. We are on to the chaos team, Syracuse.
That's pretty much accurate too.
Yeah, because Fran Brown's building this program, like really bringing a lot of talent that we haven't seen come through Syracuse in a very long time. Not since Donovan McNabb was there, it feels like, but the Orange are making strides, but the reason why they kind of fall in this chaos team category, usually I reserve this category for a team that I think is really good, but the schedule is just really difficult. So they're going to have an opportunity to ruin someone's season, but for themselves, it's going to be probably just about winning.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think that they're in a interesting crossroads, I think, with the program. And you're right. The schedule is, well, for lack of a better term, pretty darn brutal. To have Notre Dame, Tennessee, and Clemson all on your schedule, that's just rough in and of itself. And then you throw in Pitt, SMU, and Georgia Tech all still on your schedule. Yeah. Oh, yeah, don't forget. Sorry. I'm sorry, Miami. You're still there, too. My bad. God bless it. So, yes, you're right, Justin. I think that this is going to be kind of a team that's going to be a spoiler team. And Notre Dame, look out, because you would be right in their crosshairs. Or Miami. With being part of the last 4 weeks of the season, both Miami and Notre Dame being right there, I think that those two teams might be susceptible to looking ahead to the ACC championship. Well, not Notre Dame because they suck and they're a bunch of idiots. But
Notre Dame, I love it.
I hate them so much for not being in a conference but playing in conference games. Pisses me off so much.
You and many others, my friend.
Oh, makes me so angry. They should not even that should not even count as a conference game, in my opinion. If you don't want, makes me mad.
The only thing that's worse in my opinion is like scheduling a conference opponent as a non-conference game, like NC State and Virginia this year. Yeah. Ooh, that one.
Yes,
that's crazy to me.
That doesn't make any sense to me either. Yes.
When I look at this team, and we talked about it with the Syracuse fans online, and I think they've got tempered expectations, and I'm pretty happy to see that, because I feel like a lot of teams with the season they had last year, they're like, okay, we need to build off that immediately, and we need to go to the playoffs this year, or we need to contend for the. Now, the Syracuse fans I've seen have been pretty realistic. And you've got to be. When you lost all your production from last season, like your major production, you only returned 46. Your over/under's 5.5. So it's like that. Even outside looking in, people are like, okay, hey, there's going to be a drop back. The quarterback play, is it Ricky Collins or is it Angeli? I feel like that's still a step down from what they had in McCord. Regardless of what people thought about McCord, I mean, he still had a hell of a year last year, minus that 6 interception game that he had.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's defense has players on it that can step up. I like what they have at points, but I think it's just too many question marks to have a 8-9 win season. That's what we're talking to their fan base, and like, hey, if we win 6 games this year, back up the Brinks truck and drop it all on Fran's lap. Like if he manages 6 games with what's going on and the schedule they have. Like you said, Tennessee early, that's going to be tough. Clemson, Duke's a team that we already mentioned I like a lot. SMU, I mean, good Lord, man. It's tough. It's tough. But I think they'll upset somebody's schedule. Who it is, I don't know. When it is, I don't know.
Yeah.
I want it to be Notre Dame. I'm just going to say it right now.
all of those teams in the first 2 tiers that we mentioned tonight, all of those games against those teams are all on the road, which is ridiculous. Yeah. And then you have Notre Dame on the road. Tennessee is at a neutral site, but it's in Atlanta, so really closer to Tennessee. That is rough. Like you've got to sweep the home slate at that point. The home slate's no gimme with UConn, Duke, and Pitt.
And UConn's a team that we like as well on the outside. I know you do too, Justin. They've got pieces. They've got a lot of returning production and a good coaching staff there. That's one you cannot overlook, especially if you start off 0-1 and you take a beating by Tennessee. You better rebound quick. You can't have a hangover loss.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this schedule doesn't allow you to have a hangover.
No, you got to bring it each week. Which Fran Brown team? I trust them to bring it every week. I think they're gonna be pretty good. But man, I mean, Syracuse in the future though, I'm excited to see what this program's gonna do.
Hell yeah, he is building something special there. Just the mindset, the culture that they're developing there, also recruiting well and portaling well. Okay, I'm buying in. I'm buying stock. It's coming.
Yeah, absolutely. Stock up, maybe just not this year. Boston College, I put them as destined to win 7 games again because that just seems to be what Boston College tends to do. Do you think Bill O'Brien's crew can surpass that, or, I mean, are you worried about them at all with the schedule they face?
Yes.
Yes. Yes on all. Oh, man.
All of the
above. I am worried about their schedule. But it's not insurmountable necessarily. It's just they have one of the rougher 4-game stretches in the ACC schedule, starting with at Louisville, then you go to Notre Dame, then SMU, then Georgia Tech, just right back to back to back to back, and it just that's a rough stretch for them. End of October, going into the first all of November. Excuse me. But Bill O'Brien, I think, is a decent offensive coach. I still question him on the defensive side of the ball a little bit. And I'd like to see them improve on the defensive side of the ball this season, meaning that lower scoring games, not getting into anything. So I want to say you're probably looking at this, I think you're right. It's about a 7-win season. I think you can probably put that on it. But I also like that Bill O'Brien's kind of putting his stamp on this team. So however they finished, it's kind of Bill O'Brien's team right now because they forced out Castellanos and they forced out a couple other players. So it's Bill O'Brien's ship, whether he likes it or not.
Yeah, I don't know. The schedule, again, it does feel like another 7-win. That stretch is rough. Early, you have Michigan State, which is trying to really turn it around and improve. It is set up rough, and then there's UConn again lurking in between two big ones.
I know.
You want to talk about a trap game? I know it feels like one to me. Clemson, UConn, and then Louisville, and oh god, I just
you even go outside of that. You got at Pitt before Clemson, and then Notre Dame following at Louisville.
That's nasty. That's nasty work. Whoever made these
schedules
did not like you, Boston College. I'm sorry. I don't know what you did or who you offended, but it's somebody up high.
Yeah, that is some stank on the schedule, that's for sure. I mean, the one thing is, though, where I kind of look at them to potentially disrupt things a little bit, SMU traveling to Boston College on November 8th. After SMU plays Miami, and, it's in November, so the weather's probably going to be pretty bad. That one's the one where I look at and think, ooh, SMU or Boston College may interrupt the season.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to be good enough to damage somebody. Again, it's who can they trip up, or it's going to be very close and it's going to wear them down, or maybe you catch them already worn down, like you said, from a tough point in their other team schedules. So it'll be interesting. I can see a 7-win season again. Who they win, I don't know. It's going to be just up in the air. Whatever week is drops. I think the Syracuse one will probably be a good chance at a dub there at the very end, and coming off a bye week, and then you got to beat Stanford early, Fordham, of course, and then Cal coming off that bye too. Those are for sure to me. Like, I feel good about those. The rest, no clue.
The rest is absolutely up in the air. So mentioning up in the air, we have our bowl hopefuls here, but we've heard some optimism here. Trevor said a few good things about Wake Forest earlier. One of our friends, Walk On Moose, is very much on the Virginia to win 9 games train. So, so that one's a fun one. All
right.
So of these two, which one sticks out to you guys the most is the one that's most promising?
I'm going Virginia. I don't know if I'm as on them as Moose is, but I like what they brought over. I mean, Chandler Morris alone is a huge pickup. But the biggest question that again is just, can you get the offense and defense completely together? And last year they were 93rd and 101st respectively. 63% returning production, but again, that doesn't always mean if it's not good returning production, what the hell does it matter? But the portal class was 24th in the country. So it's like they're going out and they're getting guys with quality behind their name too. 31 in. So I mean, there's a lot of new people. It'll be interesting to see what this program does. And then when you look at their schedule, there's room in the early stages to pick up steam. Coastal, NC State, it is in Raleigh. But then you get William & Mary, Stanford. I mean, you could realistically have a 4-0 start before you go play Florida State. And then after that bye week, Washington State, which is unfortunately really a shell of itself, I feel like. And then you kind of get these couple away games, North Carolina, Cal. I don't know. It's an interesting schedule. I don't know if I'd say 9, but I mean, I kind of like what they have.
Yeah, and I'm kind of sticking with what my tone for this particular show, and I'm sticking with my Wake Forest Demon Deacons. I like the way the schedule kind of shakes out. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think NC State's going to be a good team, but I think that their schedule, being that you don't play Yeah, you don't play. I always have to double check before I say they don't play because I've been caught so many times. They don't play this team. Oh wait, yes they do. Yes they do.
17-team conference.
But no, they don't. They get to skip Clemson and Miami. Just out of that alone, I mean, it gives them hope to potential. Because I think there's a chance. I'm not saying that they're a better team, but there's a chance that you upset SMU. It's a definite chance that you can beat Virginia. There's a definite chance you could potentially upset Georgia Tech. I'm not saying that Wake Forest has enough speed and talent on their team. I mean, they did bring in 35 transfer guys this season. So, I mean, who knows really what Wake Forest is? But they did have a decent transfer haul. Nothing spectacular, but a bunch of 3-star solid players for Wake Forest. And I really like the way their schedule kind of shapes out for them this season. And really, I will be interested to see how that Thursday night opening ACC game against NC State will turn out. I'll be watching that one kind of with curiosity because that'll give me a good barometer for where Wake Forest is going into that game.
For me, real quick on them, it's the offense, and going out and getting, new coordinator, quarterback, Easel and then Dicker, those guys coming over from USA. And, I mean, that was the 18th rated offense, in the country last year at South Alabama. So, I mean, if you can get this ball rolling again, who was it? I'm trying to remember the quarterback that went on to Notre Dame that left Wake Forest. What was his name?
Sam Hartman.
Yeah, so it's
Hartman.
Those offenses were fun to watch at Wake Forest. If you can get back to that stuff, okay, I can buy in. I want to see it.
Yeah, I need to see it first, and especially bringing in a new coach. But definitely the schedule sets up ways to build momentum. Like, even if NC State does go on that run to 9 wins, like, you could always see that, like, Wake Forest game being an early loss that they take that kind of throws you off the scent. I feel like that's a very on-brand thing to happen there, where they lose that early game to Wake Forest. Everyone's like, "Oh, they're gonna stink." They bury them, but the next thing you know, NC State wins their bowl game and ends up with 9 wins. But yeah, it's a very interesting schedule. Like, you get that random road game at Oregon State after you play Virginia Tech in Lane Stadium, so that's gonna be a really interesting spot there. But it definitely sets them up. I like that both of these teams, kind of the underdog teams of the conference, it feels like. Wake Forest because they have a very small budget, and Virginia because they tend to focus on basketball. I like that they kind of both seem to have that kind of favorable schedule. Wake Forest would kind of just be like, how do those pieces come into place? How did they adjust? For Virginia, it's going to be about not beating themselves, because Virginia Tech was one of the worst teams about getting penalized last year. And they could not close out games as a result. Took a lot of one-score losses. And, of course, you mentioned the defensive side of the ball. Obviously trying to use the portal to revamp a secondary that couldn't stop a plastic bag floating in the wind.
Yeah.
It's going to be about that, but I do like the potential for both teams. And I think, we could see both of them make a run at the bowl.
Yeah, and really, last thing I've got for Virginia is you've got to up your sack production. I think they only had 19 on the season last year. Like, that's unacceptable. That number jumps up. Now you're going to have some room for movement and getting a bowl game.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean that the pass stopping problems were twofold. It was not just on the secondary. Obviously they take a lot of the heat for it, but at the same time, if your guys can't get after the quarterback, you're on an island all day.
Absolutely.
Yep. Absolutely.
Well, we wrap up the team by team portion with Stanford. At least we have Andrew Luck.
Hey, man. Hey, they should be grateful they have Andrew Luck. All right, he's trying to rework this thing and build it back to really what Harbaugh built. And then what David Shaw kind of continued for a little while, even though that was lacking compared, but. There's so much potential for this team. I like that Luck is trying to put his stamp on it, and he didn't like what was going on this offseason. He pulled a string on the coach and yanked it, and he's like, hey, I'm the captain now. I'm gonna run this thing.
I like the little Captain Andrew Luck pun there.
I had to play that in, Captain Phillips, Captain Andrew Luck. I love that account too on Twitter. That's funny stuff, man. Trev, what do you feel on old Stanford, buddy?
Not a whole lot, really.
Look.
Sorry.
Look.
Look.
They're cooked. Sorry.
Look, Linda. Look. So, while I think they are making strides to becoming better, this season is just not going to be the one season that will make them better. This season, look, Hawaii right out the gate. They've made strides this offseason to be better this season. We've already looked at them. BYU, we don't really even know what BYU is going to be. But they potentially could be a very tough second team. Boston College. Then you go right in. 2 games, and then you're in your ACC schedule. You get 2 ACC games, and then you go back to playing San Jose State, which is fine, I guess. Boston College, Virginia, you could make them a game, both of those. You could make them a game. But, then you after the bye week, you just, wow. Wow. It's like, God bless it. SMU, Florida State, Miami, Pitt, North Carolina. Oh, yeah, last game of the season, Notre Dame, no big deal. I think Stanford, if Stanford really is all in on getting their football program back to a level where people recognize the brand as a football program, then I think they are probably about 2 seasons away from really doing something great. I just don't think I don't see them making a bowl this season.
Yeah.
Honestly, the way the schedule's lined up, and even the non-coms, San Jose State's even a really good program. So they really are. BYU's a good program, really good program. Obviously, they're ranked this season. So I don't think this season's the season. So it's really Stanford fans and even the players, stay the course. Don't freak out that you guys had a bad season, especially the underclassmen. I feel like that there's too many players that are jump ship after one bad season, and I just doesn't really allow you to build a program that way if you have players not willing to stick around for the hard times.
Yeah, absolutely. And they their quarterback is a good young talent. He's gonna have to go through it this year, to be honest. It's gonna be pretty rough. Stanford, especially the trenches, are just an area where they are going to struggle immensely this year, which is pretty brutal. That after playing Hawaii, that second game is against BYU.
Yeah.
They are going to get absolutely bullied in that game.
Yeah.
And then Boston College even is another team that could probably bully you up front. So it's just going to be really rough, and that's the area where it kind of your path back kind of starts a little bit. You need to figure out how to get better up front, both offensively and defensively, because their offensive line I really can't really find any redeeming qualities about it last year. It wasn't good at pass protection or running the ball.
Yeah, it was rough, and then you took a beating in the portal too at wide receiver, and it's gonna be tough. But I agree, stay the course, let Andrew Luck do his thing, and I don't know, over-under's at 3.5, guys. It's gonna be rough.
I'd say that's about right.
That's actually a pretty optimistic over-under, especially with no FCS teams on the schedule.
And like you said, San Jose State is one of our contenders, that we've put out in the group of 5. BYU, even with Retzlaff gone, like you said, they're going to run it. Hawaii's tough. I don't know. I hope they can figure it out, but yeah, not this year, guys.
Unless Florida State or Cal dumps the bed here, or maybe even Boston College, you're looking at potentially facing 12 bowl teams.
Yeah, I hate saying it. I could
potentially, yeah.
I don't know if it's going to be that bad, but
I think they can probably win against Hawaii, because I think that while Hawaii's made strides to be better, I think Stanford is still bigger and stronger up front.
Yes, Yeah, it's gonna
maybe. But I still think they can get 3 wins, but I'm going to still take the under on the over-under if I was to take a over-under on them.
Yeah, if I had to put money on that, my money would definitely be on the under. That's the show. That's our ACC breakdown. Had a lot of fun. Went a while. Guys, let them know where they can find you and any fun upcoming projects you got going on.
Yeah, so obviously you can find us at YouTube at Gridiron Uncensored, Facebook Gridiron Uncensored, and then on Twitter at Kicking It with the Grid. Right? That's the tag, right? Kicking It with the Grid. Yeah. And then also this season, once the season gets going, every Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, we'll be live doing our live reaction shows on YouTube, Twitter, and wherever else, and Facebook Live as well.
Yeah, I mean, no.
Did I miss anything, Brendan?
You know, we always like to talk football, and really very active on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. We'd love to have you.
Very awesome. Great having you guys on the show. Thanks for joining us. And of course, don't forget about us as well. We are Up Dog Sports Talk. Obviously, if you're finding the show for the first time, you can find us on X as well. We are also very active on there, but we're also, here on YouTube and everywhere else that you get your podcast. I know my colleague Matt usually tries to list out all the places and he forgets half of them. I'm not even going to try. We're going to sign off there. Thanks for joining us, everyone, and have a good week.